Hello and welcome to the podcast that asks the question, what can the kids watch? John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China from 1986.
I had no idea what was going on. I kind of remember it, and then I watched it again, and there was only a few little snippets that I remember. It was complete madness. And
That's fine.
yeah,
So the kids have already seen this film. They saw it, I think, 2 years ago.
without my knowledge.
No, you knew. Because I kept showing them clips.
Okay.
I showed them action clips and being like, is this something you might be interested in? And they were like, yeah, we want to watch this film. And I thought about it and I ummed and ahed and I thought, well, when I was little, when I was about sort of between 8 and 10, I used to watch 3 films over and over again. And the 3 films were the Disney Robin Hood, where they're all foxes.
Amazing.
Well, they're not all foxes, are they? But Robin Hood is a fox. And Maid Marian is a fox. And I watched Gremlins. And I watched John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. And I watched it all the time. Those 3 films just on a loop for a spell.
See, I did the same, but with only 2 of those films, Gremlins and Robin Hood. I loved Robin Hood, but we didn't have it. We didn't have it personally on VHS, but one of my school friends lent me it that they taped off the TV.
And they never got it back.
They never got it back because my mum taped over it. I can't remember what she taped over it with, but I was absolutely mortified. And I was quite sad because I really, really liked that film. I think halfway through, you know when they used to do border birthdays or something like that?
Yes.
There was, is it John Myers or the guy that used to work at Border? I've got a vision of him with tinsel around him doing some birthday things, and then he went back to Robin Hood.
Right, okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Just a side note there.
Well, I did have Robin Hood as an actual VHS bought copy.
Oh, you're so lucky.
But Big Trouble in Little China and Gremlins were both taped off the TV, as I recall. So, this is a big nonsense martial arts movie, but made by Americans, and features mostly Chinese actors. Kurt Russell and Kim Cattrall, obviously, are the Westerners in it. Oh, and also Thingy's daughter.
Oh,
Richard Burton's daughter, yeah, which is it's interesting. I've watched this film so many times, and it wasn't until this time watching it with you that we found out it was Richard Burton's daughter.
It was one of those things that I know that I've seen that actress before. Do a quick Google. Oh,
Richard Burton's daughter. So she plays Margot. The kids, they love it. Mm-hmm. But there are things in this film that are quite grown up.
inappropriate.
To be clear, this is a 15 certificate.
I was going to ask you what.
On Disney Plus, it's 14 plus. But yes, this is a 15 certificate film. Always has been.
And a reminder, they are 6 and 8.
Yes. Yeah, I was actually going to mention that they are 6 and 8. But like I say, I would have watched it around the time of being 8. And part of its plot is about human trafficking.
Yeah.
and whorehousing. And
But then Beetlejuice had a whorehouse.
Beetlejuice did have a whorehouse. But I don't know where those women in Beetlejuice's whorehouse came from exactly. They're just sort of
Appear.
the caseworker makes them appear, and that's we can go with that. Maybe those whores don't even exist. Maybe they're magical. These ladies are not magical. They are human trafficked young women, and that is a major early plot point of this film. But you don't actually see any nudity.
No.
You see some arses, but really not much. A few butt cheeks. But that is the only element of this film that for me was a bit like, oh, sex work, human trafficking, that's not appropriate, no matter what way you slice it. But it's actually done in such a, oh God, dare I say subtle.
It's suggesting they're almost like prisoners. Well, they are prisoners.
Yes.
But it doesn't suggest prisoners of
sex work.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think, because I don't think John Carpenter's a prude, but I also don't think he's a he's not he's not like a smutty, filthy director either.
Well, I associate him with horror, like The Thing, or
Halloween. I would say Halloween is
yeah.
the big one, but yeah, and he is, but you should also associate him with Kurt Russell films.
True.
And he's a very matter of fact director. He puts flash when flash is needed, and he's very good at laying out who the characters are and what the story's supposed to be. And as a result, he's not the type to divert into, let's have some unnecessary sex scene in this film here. We don't need any of that. That's rarely what he deals with. Unless it's genuinely plot relevant that you need to see the characters have sex. He doesn't usually bother with that. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of nudity in Halloween, but that's because Halloween is a genuine exploitation movie and was made at a request of other people, I think.
It's just a very silly film. And the hero is a hero by accident.
Yeah.
He's a bit...
Kurt Russell's Jack Burton is a moron.
Yeah.
He's full of hot air. He's what you would call a blowhard. He's sort of an early podcaster because he just drives around in his truck whilst he's making his deliveries, and he's just talking to his CB radio and telling people how it is, what he thinks of the world, what his motivations are, his ideologies, and it's all just tough guy bullshit. It's like, oh wow, you could have spoke for he could have been speaking for a 5-hour journey and said nothing, but constantly been speaking.
Do you know what would be funny?
Go on.
There's a crossover between that and Smokey and the Bandit. And bandits listen to this weird guy just spout on about everything.
Why not? So he, Jack Burton, he's sort of kind of supposed to be a John Wayne archetype. He's doing a John Wayne impression. He's tough, or at least he thinks he's tough. But to be fair, when faced with all kinds of magical mayhem, he does kind of
knock himself out.
Yeah, and he shits a metaphorical brick all the time. And there's lots of fun bits where he takes himself out of the action by accident because he's incompetent. And then when he finally gets his composure, the fight is over and he's missed most of it.
Yeah, he's not really a role model or...
No, but he's a fun character.
Mm-hmm.
There's concerns with Big Trouble in Little China, like, is it racist? And the answer is, yes, it's absolutely racist. It's a full-on attack on American white men. All the Chinese stuff, although bonkers, is handled with dignity. And it's cool. And everything in it's like, for them, it's like, yeah, this is the serious stuff. The comic relief is this absolutely moronic American guy who wears a fucking vest that has a racially insensitive sort of Chinese-looking caricature on it, and it's marketable as well. It's like, oh, we'll take all this, and it's marketable. It's on a vest. Whereas all the Chinese characters, they take all of the magic and all the different hells and all this sort of thing. They take that very seriously. It's part of their destiny. It's part of their culture. But also, they're not pompous characters. They're fun characters as well. Egg Shen is not beyond having a laugh at the situation that they're in, and he's a very funny character.
There's also some pretty good moves.
When the action, yeah, and that's the other thing as well. People could get on their high horse about oh well, you've made a film about like a Chinatown in San Francisco, and of course they all know martial arts. And it's like, yeah, but a lot of Chinese cinema is that. It's John Carpenter doing Hong Kong cinema. He's only going off a template that already exists. Speaking of which, do you know Jackie Chan was originally the first choice to play Wang, but the studio, Carpenter was adamant, he's the man, but the studio wouldn't have him because they were concerned his grasp of English at the time was not good enough to be the core lead of a film. Now, I actually have no idea how good Jackie Chan's English was at that point. But
Could that have harmed his career though, like the trajectory that it eventually had?
Yeah, it might have done. So, I mean, it's like anything, isn't it? Who can say? Pierce Brosnan was almost cast as James Bond in the 80s. He was cast as James Bond, but due to circumstances surrounding the Remington Steele series, they decided to go with Timothy Dalton instead. So if Pierce Brosnan had been our late 80s Bond, who would have been our 90s Bond? Would he have carried on? What would his trajectory have been? Would he have had Timothy Dalton's career? Would Pierce Brosnan be the voice of Mr. Pricklepants in the Toy Story franchise? I don't know. So, things in this film, other things in this film that are maybe not appropriate for children, is the language.
Yes.
So I have, let's see, what did we have? We had a son of a bitch, we had a holy shit, we had a bastard, we had pissing, we had fuck it. I do like that bit. He just pulls that knife out and they cut through that paper and he just goes, fuck it, and he cuts through the paper door. So I will say fuck it is said very quickly and I feel isn't as, shall we say, in your face as some of the shits and the bastards. Mm-hmm. There are monsters in this film as well. There's a Bigfoot style creature, and I wrote down Bigfoot sort of creature, and as I said that, the boy, he said, that thing's like Bigfoot. And he said, and he didn't see my notes, because we're not in a well-lit room, which in my mind, notes look like an ant's walked through some ink. And I was like, oh yeah, I thought it was like a Bigfoot creature. He thinks it's like a Bigfoot creature. There's a bit towards the end that the boy jumped out of his skin. I was like, yep, good. That's what you meant to do. There's a creature that's a little ball that's got a ton of eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
almost David Cronenberg-y.
Well, it's something else. It's, I don't know if that creature is in any kind of Chinese mythology, but it's remarkably like a beholder from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that...
But I don't...
Dungeons
but I
and
could
Dragons,
be...
isn't it bigger?
Yes.
Yeah, but it is like a mini...
Yeah, it's like a mini beholder.
Yeah.
But it could be... that creature could absolutely be something in Chinese mythology. But I absolutely... Or in fact, the beholder could have taken inspiration from the same thing in Chinese mythology, or someone on the production just liked Dungeons and Dragons and went, oh, our beholder would be awesome in this. I can't possibly say, but it's a cool as fuck little creature for 1986. That is an absolutely stunning special effect. So I think at the time, which would have been starting to pick up a lot of steam and get everyone get excited about, were arcades. And there's a scene in this film that the kids absolutely fucking love. The scene at the end with the big fight. Lo Pan, the main villain, played by James Hong, Lo Pan and Egg Shen fire magic light at each other, and when the light collides, it becomes two characters in Chinese war armor, and they start to fight, and it cuts to Egg Shen and Lo Pan moving their hands in a fashion like they're controlling like joysticks.
Yeah.
And Lo Pan's palace is covered in neon lighting, and the whole thing does feel like a 1980s arcade.
Well, there was a bit where they go down, it looks like an escalator type thing. I thought it looked a bit like a shopping mall.
Yes, yeah, which is where
changed.
which is where you would have gone to play arcade games.
Yeah.
I think for Americans in the 80s.
But then going on from that, the three storms,
yes,
they reminded me a lot of Raiden from Mortal Kombat.
And it has widely been said that Raiden was directly the inspiration came from what are they called? It's thunder, lightning, and rain.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So there's a lot of this computer game culture wrapped around it. In fact, because I have the soundtrack, I do know that the piece of music from the battle is called The Great Arcade. And the moment, because I already had this thought about it being like an arcade, and then the moment I saw that's what that track title was called, I felt vindicated. I was like, yes, that is exactly what I thought.
Speaking of music,
Yes.
I don't know how to. Right, so John Carpenter, I know he does his music for his films and things, but there was a music video on the DVD, and he does the Big Trouble in Little China
Yeah, he sings
theme song with
the song,
a couple of his mates.
Yes.
And I actually didn't know what to think of that. I thought, good for him, and then I thought, that's a little bit sad.
It's absolutely what a middle-aged man would think is cool.
Well, it's like, I've made this film, or did he do the song first and then...
No, he'll have just gone, come on, lads, come on, we're doing a music video. And I've heard him talk about it. He says, I was on MTV. Isn't that fun?
Well, it's another string to your bow, John, isn't it? I can't claim any of that. So
I've never been on MTV.
Yeah, so good for him.
Yeah. Even though... but a music video I did edit was on BBC Breakfast years ago, so...
Well,
hurrah! Wasn't on MTV, though.
Okay. Does MTV exist anymore?
Yes, but not the music channels. Like the MTV that plays, like teens and pregnant and all those sort of things. Yeah, those type of shows. That MTV still exists, but the music channel does not, which is fucking pointless that they've got rid of those. Really disappointed in them. Anyway, so when I was little, I want to talk a little bit about Lo Pan for a moment. When I was little, his introduction, firstly, he's very unusual looking. He's very tall. He's in full sort of Mandarin garb. He looks stunning. And then he lets out a ton of white light from his eyes and his mouth. I thought when I was a kid that was fucking terrifying. It was a proper hide behind the cushion moment whenever I'd watched this film, or certainly the first time I watched it. Cushion right up to the face. Absolutely thought that was fucking one of the scariest things I'd ever seen. And all it is just white light. But it's the squeal that he does as well. That's also very unnerving, I think. So that's... Yeah, but
you can watch it now.
But our kids weren't bothered.
No,
they weren't bothered by that at all. There's a good bit where a monster jumps out of a hole when they're under the ground and grabs someone. And although they didn't jump this time, the first time they proper cacked themselves. Really like, oh my god, where was that thing? What was that thing? Oh my god, it jumped down my skin. So, yeah, lots of fun, loads of fun to be had with this. What else? What else is in this? There's loads of good stuff.
You love this film, don't you?
I fucking do.
It's definitely not in my top 10.
I think it is in my top 10.
But I'll humour you.
Oh.
It's okay.
It's better than okay.
Yeah. I like The Thing better, but we can't show The Thing to the kids.
No, we can't show them. But they're not comparable.
I know
they're only comparable because of John Carpenter and Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Did they do Escape from LA or New York?
Well, both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What age is that?
Escape from New York is a 15, but I would argue its bleak levels are possibly too upsetting.
Mm-hmm. Whereas this was just silly.
Yeah, and
which is fine.
And I'm not arguing that with you. I think this film is silly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the silly that actually makes it wildly entertaining.
And better for kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate it deals with sex work, human trafficking, and has some...
Kidnapping.
And some semi-aggressive swearing. But, that aside, I'd recommend this to kids. Unless you genuinely don't want to hear swearing in a film that you're going to watch with your kids. I guess that's a no, but I think
it does have cult status, though, doesn't it?
It does have cult status, yes.
So, for that reason, I'll give it a pass. So,
you'll give it a pass?
Well, no,
how good of you.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
It's better than Splash.
Well, I can't... Do you know what? I'll probably be really disappointed by Splash next time I watch it. So... And I did know the title of the film. I have seen it before in the past, but I don't think it left an impression on me, as it obviously did for you.
I've watched it many times.
Yeah.
I highly recommend watching it with the commentary because John Carter and Kurt Russell are definitely drunk.
Well, yeah, but you can't watch that version with the kids.
No, probably not.
So, yeah. I'll say it's okay for the kids.
Okay for the kids.
But our kids liked it, so.
I think it's perfect for kids.
Okay.
Plus, I do think it's important for seeing all the cultural, like, Chinese stuff in it. I think it's important that the kids can sit down and watch a film that's like, oh, there's barely any white people in this film, so watch this film with people who don't look like you. Learn something about the idea of different cultures. And I don't want to sit here and pretentiously say that Big Trouble in Little China is an important cultural film, because it just isn't. But I do genuinely think it's important to sit down and watch films that don't have the norms as like the lead. Like, do you know what we're gonna show them? We'll show them Willow. Because Willow was another one that was important to me when I was a kid.
Well, I love Willow.
Yeah, no.
And so, yeah.
We'll show them Willow because once again, Warwick Davis, he's not the norm. He's something different.
Little Peck.
Yeah.
That's what they call them.
I know.
In Willow.
Yeah, no, but that's like the racial abuse term they use for them.
I know.
Peck.
But still, they.
But films like Big Trouble in Little China and Willow, and maybe Beetlejuice, because it deals with the idea like that goth sentimentality as well. All those sorts of things. That's the stuff I grew up on, and I feel like that's maybe what's made me be more appreciative of unusual people, unusual things outside of my comfort zone, wanting to look to other places for cinema, not just wanting to take on, because what's being made now for blockbusters is very safe, whereas Big Trouble in Little China is like a 1980s summer attempted blockbuster. As if that's what they were fucking putting out as an attempted blockbuster. A scene where the main character kisses the girl, still has to go into battle, and has the reddest lipstick smeared over his lips for a big chunk of the scene afterwards. He looks ridiculous. The whole film wants you to look at yourself as a white person, and especially if you were like a white American man, and be like, look, don't take yourself too fucking seriously. Just calm the fuck down. I think it's a message people fucking need now more than ever. Just calm the fuck down. Don't take yourself too seriously, because it really isn't that serious. There's bigger shit going on. There's an ancient Chinese warlord trying to come back to life and take over the world and destroy it.
Maybe that's what the world needs, so everyone can just like come together and like have
an ancient Chinese
common
warlord.
enemy that's like
that's Watchmen, isn't it?
Yes, that is Watchmen.
In the film, it's let's everyone hate Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
In the comic, it's a giant
blob.
It's a giant octopus alien's going to come and fuck us all up, so let's team up and make sure that doesn't get us. Either way, common enemy, that's what they're going for. But that's not Big Trouble in Little China.
No.
I'm sorry it doesn't grab you to the
No,
level
I
it grabs
appreciate
me.
it. It's just that I prefer some of the other films that we've shown the kids.
Okay.
And
you prefer other John Carpenter movies.
Yeah.
You like They Live, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't show them They Live.
No. But it's...
Can't show them...
You can't like everything.
Can't show them Prince of Darkness. Can't show them Assault on Precinct 13. Can't show them Halloween. I might show them The Fog.
Okay.
The Fog's very gentle. I seem to recall I think you thought The Fog was going to be more than it was, but it is a very simple ghost story. Mm-hmm. And I think, maybe not now, but once we get to October, let's see what happens in October. I'm going to pull out The Fog.
Well, you like doing a...
Shocktober?
Yeah, like one horror film a day. at least.
And it's
You get a bit upset if you don't get it in
fucking difficult. I
with
should.
work and kids and whatever. So
Well, kids are fine because I found a bunch of horror films I could show them, or at least spooky stuff. Even Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. We'll do Ghostbusters at some point. So yes, I recommend Big Trouble in Little China for your kids, but bear in mind human trafficking and some bad language.
yes,
Okay,
okay from me.
excellent. Right, bye.
Bye.